Hey, how's it going, everybody? Tim here, back with another video. Just out taking a little walk out in nature, a much needed walk out in nature. I think it'd been a couple weeks since I've been out here, doing any hiking of like any length, and I could really tell the difference. Like my mood was kind of off, I was kind of down, and I was like, you know what, today I'm gonna get up early and I'm just gonna go out there. There's snow all on the ground. I don't know how the trails are gonna look, but I'm gonna walk. And as I like to do when I walk, occasionally I turn the camera on and talk. So here we go. As I was walking, I was doing a lot of thinking about what I want to do with my life, what I want to do in the future. And I find it very peaceful to think about that when I'm out in nature and nobody else is around. I love this time of year out here in Rocky Mountain National Park because no one's here. Like all the tourists are gone, no one's here. Even trails like this one that are pretty popular, nobody's on it this time of year. So out in nature by myself, just me and the trees and the snow and the river, just for the most part. There are some signs of civilization on this trail, but for the most part it's kind of like this here. I mean, nobody around. You see some footprints that show that somebody was here a little earlier, but nobody to speak of. So I find that that's a great time to kind of think about what I want to do with my life in the future going forward, because there's no like outside influence telling me anything. Nature doesn't yell at you to do anything. And I think it's ironic that, what do I want to do with my life is one of the most important questions we could ever ask ourselves. It's probably like the most important question we can ask ourselves. What do I want to do with my life? What do I want my future to look like? The irony is, though, that it's one of the questions we ask the least. We ask ourselves the least. We think we ask ourselves it, but we really don't. And I think the reason for that is because from the time we're at an age where we really can decide what we want to do with our lives, we have influences telling us stuff. So, once you reach kind of, your teen years, maybe preteen, you start thinking about it, your teen years. Anytime the topic comes up of what to do with your life, somebody older than you chimes in. Teacher at school. This is what you need to do. Your parents, this is what you need to do. Like, as soon as you start thinking about, oh, it's not just up to my parents anymore, I can determine what happens to me in my life, there's outside influences telling you what you should be doing. And we're not even going to talk about the influences like TV, movies, music, all that stuff. That stuff hits you when you're even younger before you even think about it. So from the moment we're thinking of the question, what should I do with my life? It's kind of already been decided for us, or it's already been told to us what we should be doing. And for most of us, we just fall in line. No fault of our own. These are the people we look up to. These are my mentors in life. They're saying that I need to be doing this. Okay, that's what I need to do with my life. And we just fall in line. We just follow along that pattern that society has set. And then when we get a little older, and we get, maybe we start to get into those times in our lives, like our 20s, when we kind of are at the most, what's the word I want to use? In your 20s, that's when you're at the age where you're kind of a little more rebellious against society, and that's when you really might be thinking about going your own way the most in life. By then, most of us already have responsibilities, so we can't. We already got bills. This day and age, we already got thousands of dollars of debt. So once again, we're not in control of what we do with our life. We may have moments of clarity when we're like, oh man, I wish I could do this, or I wish I could do that. But immediately, the responsibilities and the burdens and everything we have come back into play. And not saying all these responsibilities are negative. A lot of people by their 20s, they have kids, they've got a job going that maybe they really like. So those things play a factor in what you're going to do with your life. So once again, you can't just sit down and clean slate it and be like, what do I want to do with my life? because you have responsibilities. And it just gets worse and worse as you get older. Once you get into your 30s, you know, you're smack dab in responsibility land when you're in your 30s. Like, you know, that's the sweet spot for not being able to do what you want to do. Which is why a lot of people come their 40s, early 40s, have midlife crises, because they're like, okay, I've been doing this so long, I'm not in control of my life here. I'm just gonna go crazy and do something crazy just to show that I'm in control of my life here, just because for so many years they haven't had control. But the funny thing is, even when people have midlife crises, a lot of them follow, you know, the party line. They have a midlife crisis that is standard for what society expects them to do. You know, they go out, buy the sports car, or dump their mate for somebody younger, or, you know, just go on like a Coke binge. I don't know. But basically, you know, people do these, and people in society will look and be like, oh, that's Larry, he's going through a midlife crisis. And people are like, oh, okay, we get it. Once again, not really in control. See, now here's actually a part of this hike I really like. See if I can show it to you. It's a bridge. Yeah, so a lot of nature, then you come across this bridge. But I really like bridges, so I don't mind it. And it's a nice spot to sit and chill. You can sit and chill on those rocks. And then there's a nice warning sign that tells you if you fall in that water, you could die. That sign always gives me a chuckle. Anyway, so what were we talking about? Oh, what do you want to do with your life? So for so much of our life, and then yeah, when we're in our 40s, we're still following the party line, and we're like, okay, 25 years to retirement, 20 years to retirement. And we're making decisions based on this time for retirement that other people set for us. I was watching a documentary on retirement the other day, and it really hit home to me that this idea of retiring in your 60s is totally just something society tells us. Totally. There's no arbitrary reason why you should wait till you're 60, 65 to retire. Other than like that's when Social Security kicks in, but most people aren't, you know, like banking on Social Security. People under a certain age, but they still are like, oh yeah, I'll retire at 65. And it's just like, and they're not expecting to retire probably from a company with a pension, anything like that. But yet and still, they still say 65. Like, it's just a number that society has picked for us, and we just go along with it. Okay, yeah, 65, that sounds great. That's only another 40 years from now. Yeah, that sounds great. I'll just stay working here until then because somebody decided that's the number. So once again, people making decisions, not totally in control of their life, you know? And we just go through life doing this. And it's just interesting to me. Like I said, when I was out walking today, and it was just nobody around, just me in the mountains. And I was like, what do I want to do? Because I'll admit, the reason I was thinking about it is because I have been kind of feeling, like I said, not living the nomad life for a while. So had to get a place to rent, been looking for a car, had to go down to the town hall and, you know, put down a deposit for utilities, and been thinking about, you know, car insurance, all these other bills. Like, I haven't had bills in like going on 4 years. So it's really hitting me getting all these bills, and it's actually kind of got me down a little bit. I'm like, man, I don't mind paying the bills. I don't like the responsibility of the bills. Like when I signed a lease, which is only like a 7-month lease, I don't like the fact that I have to pay rent until May. Like, I have to. Like, it's a legally binding contract. I don't like that. I'm not saying, you know, it's fairly, my part of the rent's fairly inexpensive. I can afford it. It's not a hassle that way. I just don't like the responsibility. You know, and then I'm like, oh, the power bill. I gotta pay that every month. I don't know what it's gonna be until I get the first bill. So, you know, now it's kind of like up in the air. How much is power gonna cost me every month? Like, it's just so, you know, all these variables, and these bills kind of determine, you know, what I can do. Y'all know I got these trips I've got planned for 2019, but I'm like, I can't really you know me, I'm Mr. Just buy the ticket. But I'm like, I really got to be financially responsible and wait until I get a car and see how much all my bills are going to be before I put up, you know, like $1,000 to go somewhere, you know, travel overseas or something. You know, it's just all this, all this weight coming down on me. And it just got me thinking about, like, we so many decisions in life are made based on all this other stuff, and they're not made based on the important thing of, what do I want to do with my life? You know, what is it that is in this world that is either an occupation or a hobby or whatever it is? You know, what kind of work would I like to do with my life? What kind of hobbies would I like to have? What kind of places would I like to go? What kind of person would I like to marry? You know, where do I want to live? All these decisions that we're free to make based solely on ourselves and what we want to do, but we don't. Most of them are based on what society tells us we should be doing, or, you know, we got bills and responsibilities we got to take care of, so we got to do this, got to do that, and it's just stressful. You know, it's just stressful, and it's joy robbing. Yeah, see, this part of the hike, you're like right by the road, which I don't really like, but whatever. A couple people, excuse me, a couple people driving by looking at me like I'm crazy. Yeah, get that mountain air in your lungs, yeah. But I just, you know, I've said this before, but I just wish we lived in a world where you didn't have all these outside factors on you, and it was just a matter of people sitting down and like really taking time to figure out what they want to do and then doing it. Like really genuinely deciding to live the life they want to live and then doing it, you know? And just something about being out in nature. I think maybe the fact, because like nature is real. Like when I'm long dead and gone and forgotten about many millennia over, these mountains will be here. I guarantee this river will still be here. If we as humanity don't blow it up or something. All this, you know, the seasons will still come and go. There'll be summer, there'll be winter, all this, the trees will still be here, you know, and all the post-apocalyptic films, and either in places that we have already destroyed on this earth, say like Chernobyl, the trees come back, you know, the wildlife comes back. All that stuff is real, that stuff is forever. All this man-made stuff that we put all this stock into and think is so super important, it's not real. Like, that stuff shouldn't be factoring in into our life decisions. We should be worrying about real stuff. Our friends, our family, our enjoyment, what brings us happiness, you know, what's going to make us healthier. Those are the type of things we need to be worried about when we're pondering, you know, what do I want to do with my life? Those are important. You don't need to be wondering about the car note or the mortgage, which I understand when you have those, and sometimes you have to have those. That plays a part, but I feel like whenever we have things like that, we should be working as hard as we can to get rid of them and get back to just the basics of living, you know. But everybody knows I'm a firm believer in simple living. And it's just been reaffirmed here lately. I mean, I think because I've been traveling and living out of a couple suitcases, it just became second nature to me to live simply. And so it really wasn't, when I first started living simple, it was a big deal because like I had to go through these big steps to do it, you know. So I talked about it a lot more because it was a big deal. It kind of became commonplace to me in the past few years. But now that I'm having to go kind of back the other way, for good reasons that I've mentioned in another video, I'm starting to see the beauty of simple living. And I already know as soon as I'm able, I'm gonna go back to being, you know, living extremely simple again. I already know it. I can't, this rent and car notes and bills and stuff is not for me. Like, it's just not. So when I'm asking myself, you know, what do I want to do with my future? I know a year or so from now, or whenever, the universe decides to show me that it's time to get back to living the nomad life again, I'm gonna jump on it, because I feel like that's really me. And that's kind of my point of this video, I think. And that's, it's getting hot. It's getting hot. Yeah, and I think pre-2014, when I kind of started on this journey, or started looking into, living a lifestyle like this, I had no clue that, this was the life I wanted to live, or it was like the life for me. And I feel like a lot of people have lives that are for them, or unique for them, or a lifestyle they could lead that would be the best for them. They just don't know about it. And that needs to affect, I think that should factor in when you're saying, what do I want to do with my life? You may not know exactly right now, but if you can identify the things that make you happy right now, or the things that you feel that might be something you want to do, and you start going after those things, the path will slowly be revealed. And then there'll be some doors open, or some opportunities come around that you never thought of. And you'll be like, oh man. And then you're like, oh, this is me. I really like this. I mean, I know for me, like, hiking is a huge part of my life right now. Just like today, when I'm going through something, if I can get out and hike, it just makes me instantly feel better. But here's the thing, before, I'd never hiked before, like, I think it might have been 2016. Like, even when I was doing seasonal work, I wasn't hiking. Like, I just didn't think it was something I would like. But through doing other things, I discovered hiking, and now I know, like, that's something that's going to be a part of my life, as long as I'm existing on the earth in this form, So I just think we need to really think more about, what makes me happy, what do I like to do, what do I want to do going forward. If you can't identify things you definitely want to do, we all got things we know we hate doing. I was in a training course at work last week. Yeah, your boy gets into like training courses now. Supervisor training, kind of a big deal, whatever. Which I was totally adamant about not going. But the man said I had to go, so I went. But when I got there, I really enjoyed it. The lady who taught the class did a great job of, teaching the class, making it exciting, and she was hot, so that helped. But anyway, my point for bringing that up was to say that we had to do some exercise, and I forget what exactly it was called, but it was like, what would make you happy, or what is something, what does happiness look like to you? And one of the ladies in the class said, never having to set an alarm clock again. And I think that was a great answer. I feel like that's definitely something that could cause us, a great amount of joy. Never having set an alarm clock again, never having, this deadlines thing, in the morning, having to get up at a certain time. I know that's time is something I've been thinking about a lot too. Once again, the more of these like real world bills and responsibilities you have, the more you have like things you have to go to and times you have to be at places. And all my days off here lately, the reason I haven't been able to hike is because I've been having to go to certain places and look into this and do that, and they're only open this time, and all this time and deadline. I can't wait to get back to the time when I don't have all that going on. But the alarm clock is a big one. I don't think we were meant to have to wake up at a certain time in the morning. I think we were meant to, sun comes up, you kind of roll out of bed, sometime around then, and you went out and you did your job. Like, I just got to see if y'all can pick up those mountains back there. Oh, that's nice. Anyway, yeah, this whole business of an alarm clock, like, that was something she identified she didn't want to do in the future. May not totally know, what's going to come from that, but she knows in the future she wants to have an occupation, I would imagine, that doesn't make her have to get up at a certain time in the morning. She can sleep in as long as she wants. But a good starting place was, I don't want to have to set an alarm clock, And I feel like we all have things, like that you can just put down on your list when it comes to what you want to do in the future. I don't want to have to do this, or I don't want to do this. Or if you don't know what you want to do, put down what you don't want to do. And then as you're trying to shape your life, if something makes you have to do one of those don't want tos, don't do it. Or try not to have to do it. you know? But I really feel that's a question that really takes long hours, days, weeks, months, maybe years of pondering on what do I want to do with my life. I feel like it's a question you can ponder your whole life, because you're always moving forward, you're always going into the future. Your whole life you can be asking, what do I want to do next year? You know, what do I want to do the year after that? What do I want to do next month? Or, you know, just and figure it out the best you can and do it. Design it. You know, like I'm always saying, design, create, and then live your own your dream life, your unique life. You know, you can have a life that's free of the things you don't like in your life now, or free of the things you don't like in the world. You can. But it just takes actively thinking about it, for one, and then, you know, putting forth the effort to do it, for two. But yeah, those are my rambling, meandering thoughts for the day. I knew this was going to be kind of a longer video, but I felt like making a longer video. I've been having a lot of thoughts up in the head here recently. Like I said, been kind of going through some ups and downs, and when I get in those kind of down moods is when I really start to think about, I don't know, life from like a deeper, I disappeared. Hold on, let me get into some sunlight up here. I start to think about life in the deeper things. Like I was reading a lot of my Stoic stuff recently. I've read the, you know, I listened to the Enchiridion a couple times, listened to Marcus Aurelius's meditations. I even started, you know, was thinking about composing some. I'm thinking about starting the book. That's basically what I'm saying. Thinking about starting the book. I don't know, just something about the spot I'm at in life. I feel like it might be time to start writing stuff down. Might be time to get started on the memoirs. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off here shortly. I'm gonna head in and I don't know, do something therapeutic for the rest of the day. But yeah, thanks for coming along with me on this walk and ramble. And yeah, think about what I said. What do you want to do with your life? Talk to you later.